Ready?
What's up, Coach?
Welcome back to Talk to Me with the coach, Mike. We're on the road once again, taking youngsters behind the scenes, what it's like being a major league ball player. And I stumbled across the man himself, Kelly.
Yeah, baby.
How we doing?
Good, how are you?
Just fine.
Yep.
Now, we're going to take you back a little bit.
How far?
How far you want to go?
Not too far. I got bad memories. Make sure it's the good part.
Okay, that's all going to be the good stuff.
All right.
Now, when we look at this White Sox team right now, you the senior statesman on the team, the oldest player on the team. What do you got to say about that?
Second oldest. Lance Lynn's got me by a little bit. So,
okay.
But yeah, we are the two oldest. The good news is that I only feel old like half the days. You know what I mean? Like usually my body feels pretty good. Mentally I feel young. Stay with hanging out with the young guys. We had an off day yesterday, hang out with them. But I just try to enjoy the game that we're blessed to play. It's still baseball, man, and with the deadline, with not playing well, with all these things coming up, something that I try to tell the guys, and especially the young guys, like, hey, we got to worry about ourselves. Like we can't be putting too much pressure on ourselves. Ultimately, there's two things that could happen. You're either going to do good or do bad. So there's no reason to kind of worry about it before you even go out there on the field. Just go out there and play loose and see what happens.
And speaking of the body, what do you have to do differently from your younger days to now to get your body and mentally and physically ready?
So I'm in the weight room way more than I ever have, and it's not necessarily the amount of weight that I'm moving at. Like, I was way stronger when I was younger, right? But I found a good recipe with our strength coach, Goldie Simmons, Evie. If we do something every day for 15 minutes, whether it's 2 upper body workouts with 2 lower body workouts, 2 sets each, 6 reps, not only is that, help me get my body ready, to come throw, run, but it keeps it in the same shape as it was in spring training. Like, I'm not gaining muscle, but I'm also not losing too much. So in a long season, especially as a reliever, that's kind of something you want to focus on, because once you start losing muscle and you still try to move your body as fast as it is used to, when you have all that mass, it usually tends to lead to poor performance, number one, and then worst case scenario will lead to an injury.
So do you find yourself getting more wiser on the mound from one year to the next?
I would say a little bit. I really haven't changed the way I play the game since I came in the league. The only thing that I'd say I would adapt it on field is probably just knowing, I'm here for a reason, and, that hitter is there for a reason, but I know that I'm better. I think I've adapted the mentality of probably being the aggressor more than, just trying to, make pitches. When I used to try to, focus super hard on, if I miss my spot, I got upset myself, or, if I'm going with a curveball and I'm supposed to bounce and I didn't, I get upset with myself. But once I learned that, it's just as important to be confident and attack more than, worrying about the little things of, I missed my pitch, now I can't get the next hitter out. I kind of learned that throughout my career, which has, maybe made significant gains, as a person, as a ball player, and then, to be able to share my wisdom with some of the guys on my team about that kind of aspect.
A lot of people have that ambition playing in the big leagues, but they don't realize the average life of a big league player is 1 to 2 years. So, man, you've had longevity in this game. What do you attribute to your success for longevity?
There's a lot of things that contribute to it. Number one, obviously, I was blessed with talent, and that doesn't mean anything, but that helps you get to the big leagues. And then the stick, you got to be mentally tough. And I think that I've shown throughout the league, my career, that I've been mentally tough. It's not like I've dominated my whole career, but I've played a long career. I've never made an all-star team. I've never been a closer. I've never been, a number one when I was a starting pitcher. But I've found myself in winning teams and organizations, and I have 2 World Series rings. And I think what has helped me is, like I said, everyone has talent at this level, but it's all about what you want to do with that talent and how serious are you. And I think I've always been pretty serious in my career, mentally, and like we just talked about, physically.
So in other words, you was the man.
No, I would never say that. You said it.
I said
you
it.
said it. You said I'll never say that.
And speaking of them 2 World Series rings, You accomplished something most major league players never accomplished, but had that ultimate dream. So what does it feel like, first of all, to play in a World Series, yet alone 2 World Series?
Playing in it is something that I like to take advantage of. A lot of guys, get nervous, honestly, and I've seen guys on my team, I've seen guys on the other team. For me, I've been fortunate enough to take it as like a regular baseball game, and people say, well, that's not possible. I said, yeah, well, it's the World Series, it's the only game playing. But the best piece of advice that I came up with myself is, it might sound like I don't care, but during the playoffs, there's so much added pressure that everyone puts on themselves. And so when I go out there, I think I have the advantage every single time, because what I tell myself is care less than the hitter you're facing. Like, if the hitter cares more than you, that you already have the advantage of him being antsy, of him being overzealous on a breaking ball in the dirt. It's a focused care less, but it's kind of hard to put in words. Like, I'm not mentally not caring, but I'm caring less in that moment than that hitter, and so I think that gives me an advantage.
But you got the eyes of the world on you. You're the center of attention in the World Series.
And I think I might like that a little too much. The more fans, the better for me, I feel like.
So you're the man once again.
I didn't say it, he said it. Coach said it.
I said it. I'm a spokesman on that part.
Okay, I'll take it.
So, you got 2 World Series rings. Do they go side by side, or you put one on each finger?
So I got them fit to go side by side. I didn't want to go 2 hands. I got them fit to go side by side. If I'm fortunate enough to get another one, I'll probably put it on the other hand, though.
So what you do with the ring?
Right now, they're in a safe in my house. I've never been the guy to wear them or kind of gloat. I think I bring them out for special occasions, like a wedding or something, so people have a question to talk about. But right now they're just sitting in the boxes in my safe, fireproof safe. So we're good.
Well, when I used to scout for the Royals, of course, they won the World Series. That was well before I got there. And I hear everybody in the organization got a ring. They didn't even call me up and give me one. So can I wear one of your rings?
If when I go back to Cali, if I go to my house, I'll bring them. But I'm not very efficient of remembering where I even put my car keys. So I don't know if I want to bring my rings out. And if I bring them to you, I might bring them to the locker room, and then I'll go home and I'll forget them, and you just never know what happens. So, but if I do get them, I will let you see them and wear them.
So if I be a stowaway in your luggage, don't say that.
All right. I'll bring a lockbox.
All right. Last question. How do you want this game to remember you? Joe Kelly, 2 World Series rings, a veteran with years under his belt. How do you want this game to remember you when it's all over?
I would love for every organization I played for, to be able to honestly say, good or bad performance doesn't matter. I want them to say, hey, well, I'm happy that he was a part of our organization, and I think that will be a good tip of the cap. Obviously, I think I've done well with my teammates, but I think from front office to ownership, I would like for them to have no regrets of ever signing me or putting me in a big league uniform that I've worn. So I want to leave the game not with the accolades. I want to leave the game with having my teammates say that I was a great teammate. But also the front office, staff, everyone would be like, I'm happy that, he was part of our organization, even if I didn't do good, but, I always want to bring something to the table.
Coach with the man, Joe Kelly, and one thing that Coach could say, honestly, in this little time that I've known him, he's been nothing but a class act to the coach.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Everything. Yep.